Hello, Steve White, Trekboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Wow, Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 12. What was it called? There is a Tide. Apparently they've changed the episode name again, but I don't know what it originally was. Okay, this wasn't as bad as last week. The disappointment of the burn and all that was just so bad. This episode is very much Michael Burnham doing Die Hard, which is what some people are saying. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Okay, so basically the episode starts off with the Discovery being chased back to Starfleet by Emerald Chain, and of course the Emerald Chain is pretending to attack Discovery because they are actually in control of the Discovery. Now, all the bridge crew have been put into a little VIP prisoner section so they can, plot their escape and everything. And eventually the Admiral lets them in to the Starfleet bubble, basically. And they get in and I think I'll deal with that story first. Eventually, Asara reveals herself as being, in charge of the Discovery, and she wants to negotiate some sort of peace, I guess, with Starfleet and the Admiral. So he speaks to her, and she basically says, look, and they sort of established that the Orion Syndicate, the Emerald Chain, is actually more of a government, and she's more the Prime Minister, and that basically she's managed to outlaw slavery and a few other things, and they're trying to make the Emerald Chain more palatable for Starfleet because they want to join with Starfleet because they are running out of dilithium and they need Starfleet to survive, and they need them to join together and have legitimacy and to be validated by Starfleet. And Vance does seem to be, well, I mean, you would think it would be tempting on some level, but not really. I mean, Vance doesn't waver at all in his ethics and his ideals with Starfleet. So that's happening while the bridge crew are trying to escape. I'm trying to make this one short because it took me so long to get to this. I procrastinated for so many hours and then it just dragged out and I had to lay down halfway through like last week, but I didn't fall asleep for a hell of hours this time. It's New Year's, and the last thing I wanted to be doing was just watching Discovery, so I really put this off, but I'm going to try and get through it quickly. So the Discovery crew, twice as mentioned, it's made clear that they can't be killed by the security guards or anything, so they know they can do whatever they want and there's no danger. They use Morse code to signal stuff, which is a bit of a problem because in Starfleet it's been established that it's not taught, and they actually state that it's taught in the academy, and it's not. There are a few times where the Starfleet members knew what Morse code was, but for the most part people didn't because it wasn't used anymore. So, but basically they get I've forgotten the name of the characters, both of them, the two like con officers who drive the ship. Basically they stage a fight, and then of course they use that to overpower the two security guards I think that they had there. So they escape out into the ship, and I forgot to mention Michael Burnham. Oh yep, I really should have mentioned this. I probably should have gone in more continuity rather than sort of, I was trying to do each story. So Michael and Book basically transform their magical ship and crash it into the shuttle bay so they can get onto the ship. Michael Burnham takes a device that basically conceals her life signs so she can sneak around the ship, and Book stays on the ship. She runs off and gets into the ship and into the like Jeffrey's tubes and that. Now she does end up having a fight with a guy, getting stabbed in the leg and still managing to render him unconscious or possibly kill him using her legs, and it's all very Die Hard. She's running around the background of the ship trying to undermine the people who've taken it over. Now what happens next? Not a lot happens in this episode. We don't touch on, but you don't see Saru or anything from that whole thing. It's all on the Discovery. And trying to remember, it doesn't seem like much happens. Where are my notes? With Emerald Chain again, she's suggesting basically you need to embrace capitalism. You need to basically, you're not in a position to live on your ideals. You basically have to join us for strength because, you're in a weak state because of the burn and all that. And it does seem like the Admiral might consider it. You would almost think like he would, but basically he says, well, you need to be held responsible for your actions while you were running the Emerald Chain. And she's like not wanting to do that. She wants to move forward. Is when really that's sort of where it falls apart. The negotiations, it almost looked like it could have happened, but she's not willing to do that. Now, okay, Burnham and Stamets. There's a scene there which I don't really understand why. Now, Stamets has had the device taken off and he's back to normal, and because the crew is basically freeing the people on the ship, the bridge crew, and Stamets wants to jump back and save Culber and all that because they can't survive forever. And Burnham says no, and he's like ignoring her, and he's about to go to use the sport drive. Now, I honestly don't understand why they don't jump back and save them. I must have missed something or tuned out or fallen asleep last episode or this episode. I don't know why they can't just go back or why they couldn't just jump. Basically, and this is the one, like every episode there's something that bothers me. Every episode there's something that's either stupid or bad or wrong. And this has happened before, but Michael Burnham gives the Vulcan nerve pinch. Now, the Vulcan nerve pinch only worked because Vulcans had special abilities with their fingers. That's how they can mind meld. They can actually, they've belittled that and made that really common where they've got androids like in Picard that can do it, and Michael Burnham can do it. Like you can train a person to do it. You can't because they have to have the psychic, telekinetic, whatever abilities for their fingers to actually communicate or touch or whatever that humans can't do. That's why they're able to do the nerve pinch and why they're able to do mind melds. So the fact that she's just doing them because she lived on Vulcan and learnt how, it undermines and makes it less special. So I didn't like that. Basically, she sticks him in like a little pod and shoots him out, basically saying, Starfleet will find you, don't worry. And this is the really good scene. He basically goes off at her and says, we gave up our lives and came all the way here for you, and you're going to do this to us. Basically, you're going to do this to me, because he wants to go back to save Stamets and that. So she shoots him out and then blows up the spore drive. And I'm like, number one, how did the spore drive become so special and unique that no one else could replicate it, and they only had one, they can only use that? So yeah, I don't think much else happens. Basically, I'm going from memory. I'm not going to try and read my notes. I can't read my own notes. I don't know why I make them. The Andorian got shot and killed, which I guess was just to show us that the Emerald Chain are actually dangerous. Oh, the villain from the second episode came back, and he's part of Asara's crew. And there's some scenes of him. The episode basically ends with Tilly encountering the droids, the dots, the droids, because now Star Trek is Star Wars, so we have droids running around, and basically, because when Asara and that took over, basically what they do is they basically erased and got rid of the power system, the computer system, the control of the ship and everything. They basically just overwrote it. So I'm so tired and so exhausted, I can barely keep my eyes open. It's like 7 a.m. in Australia here, and I've been up all night. It was New Year's, so I was up at 7:38. I haven't slept. But I wanted to do this before I went to bed. I didn't want to face it tomorrow, because I go to bed tonight, it feels like this was yesterday, and tomorrow is the start of the new year. I want to leave Discovery in the past for the most part, although we still have the final episode next week. But where was I? Oh yeah, the dots show up, and apparently, because when they overwrote the system, they sort of mentioned that there's some one little computer file system, whatever, that's working, that is like some sort of old movie or something. That's basically the movie they were playing in the shuttle bay and that. And what we find out is that was the sphere data, and now the sphere data is put itself into three droids, three dots that now house the 100,000 years of information that the sphere had. How they can do that, how they would be built to have that much storage, like it would not be necessary. It's like having like enough. It's like having an iPhone and it's got enough storage to do like a whole library when it shouldn't. Why would you put that in there? It doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Just like the nerve pinch doesn't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense, but they show up and I guess they're going to help. I don't know. Tilly and that, like I said, they managed to escape. They managed to. It was all pretty lame the way it just wasn't great. But the thing that really bothered me about the episode was that Michael Burnham used the nerve pinch again, which I forgot she'd already done. So Asira tries to negotiate with Starfleet. The Admiral says no. The bridge crew is put into VIP. Book eventually got to them. He got put in with them, and he did help with them escaping and everything. He did his part. I'm already over 11 minutes. I was going to try and stay at 10 minutes. But yeah, not a lot happens. I kind of find it weird that they're keeping this episode's... instead of doing like a 2-part episode for the final 2 episodes, they've very much split what's happening on Discovery and split what's happening on that like hologram ship or Sentinel or whatever on the planet. So what else is there? I think I'm done. Oh, there's one thing where Michael kills a bunch of people. She basically straps herself down to something and sets off the fire alarm, the fire suppression system, and it basically blows all the people who aren't holding onto something out of the airlock. Now, how even a 22nd century fire suppression system wouldn't be able to recognise there's actually people in that room and not blow them out into space? Did she disarm that? They don't show that, but basically that's what happens. So that didn't make any sense that the computer would work that way. I think that's it. I'm looking at my notes. I'm not seeing anything else. I think I covered it all. Yeah, basically they're taken hostage. They escape. They save the day. Stamets gets sent away. And I can barely keep my eyes open. And I think I'm done. Sorry, this review's kind of crap. Took forever. But I can't. Just sitting through Star Trek Discovery is a pain at this point. And I'm just so glad that next week is the last episode. I don't have to do this again for another year, pretty much. I think the next season will be delayed if it's made at all. I'm not saying they're not wanting to make it or budget it or whatever, but I just think COVID might stop it from happening, or at least delay it, unless they're prepared for delays and sort of building that into the schedule in a way. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to next week, but I'm so glad it's the last one. I'm so tired, and this is making me even more tired. But I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything else that happens. It's pretty basic. You have Michael Burnham being diehard, the crew escaping in the lamest means. Like, there's no security camera on them. There's only like one guard or two guards. It's all very cliched and lame, and it's like the people are writing this for the first time. They're like, we're doing sci-fi. Let's have this happen. And it's just all the old tropes you would expect. I'm going to go. I'm not going to get to 14 minutes. I just feel like I'm forgetting. I feel like there should be more, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, that's basically all that happened. 3 sort of storylines in a way, and that's it. So feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. There are a couple of stupid moments. The fire suppression system working the way it did. Michael Burnham still being able to do the neck pinch, stuff like that. But other than that, it was almost an okay episode of TV, except it was so cliched and everything had been done before, and the way they did everything was really predictable, and of course you knew the crew was going to, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Feel free to even ding the bell. That helps.